Okay, next spinner up is one that I have a request out for, which is why I'm doing this one now. Somebody who's made a comment on my site that they wanted to see this one tested. So this is another Magic Shark spinner, and this is the UFO. This thing is quite a beast. It's about as sleek as you could ask for. All the edges are really well rounded. It's almost round. It's a triangular shape, but it's almost rounded. I have a feeling this one's going to cut through the air and go really long. But given its shape, being almost round, it's not the easiest thing in the world to play with. So I can get a pull stroke on it from the side, but a throw is not so easy. And it's really shiny and slippery, and this one could be interesting. I'm wondering how well the air hose will blast it up to speed. But the other ones that I've had there were kind of similar to this. Didn't do too bad in that respect. So we're going to see how this one comes out. Okay, I got done testing the Magic Shark UFO spinner. This one is pretty interesting. If you watch my videos, you probably notice that I really go for long spinning spinners, and I'll say right off the top that this is the longest spinning spinner that I've ever tested. I got an average spin time of 15 minutes and 12 seconds. This thing actually spun for 15 minutes and 12 seconds on average. And I tested it 6 times, so as you can guess, it took me a long time to test this thing. It did have a difference in how it was held. When it was held horizontally like that, it spun anywhere from 15 minutes and 35 seconds to 16 minutes and 58 seconds. Held vertically, it only went for like about 12 minutes and 50 seconds. So it was better horizontally than vertically. It's probably because we have a pretty heavy weight on this fidget spinner. It weighs 130 grams, and it's really sleek. There's not much air resistance here at all. It just spins like crazy. That said, most people are not going to spin this thing up using an air hose like I do, and there's pretty much no way to get this thing going as fast as it was without an air hose. If you try to spin this thing with your fingers, you run into problems. It's almost like a round spinner. There's really almost nothing to grab onto. You can't get it going very fast with your fingers. It's just no way to do it. Pulling it, you can get a little bit off the side, but you're not going to get that kind of you're not going to get those kind of times doing it with your fingers rather than an air hose. So on appearance, I gave it a 7. It looks pretty cool, but not fantastic. On feel, I gave it a 5. It really just doesn't feel good. It's not really fun to play with. Perceived quality, about an 8, because they put some. It's really well made. It's got a good bearing in it, and it's not. There's no imbalance in it at all. So again, we have a really long spinner, but one that's not the greatest to play with. It's got an average subjective rating of 6.67. And it got a 10, of course, for the spin duration, which was over 7 minutes. It's the highest you can get. So it got an average score. It got a score of 6.7. Now, I will say there was one problem I run into with my scoring system is when you get a lot of variability in the spin duration, that hurts the score a lot. If you have a really short spinner that only spins for a minute and a half or so, you're not going to get a lot of variation. But at these really long spin times, we get differences of 3.5 to 4 minutes, which is what happened with this one. You got some spin times that were up almost 17 minutes, and some that were down around a little less than 13 minutes. So that's a big difference, and that cuts into the score quite a bit. So it gets a big penalty. It got an overall penalty of 1.6 just for the variation in the spin time. So if you don't care, which you probably don't, if you don't care whether it's running 16 minutes or 12 minutes, I mean, really, what's the difference in terms of how you play with it? You could give it a higher score of around, around 8, really. So there are always little problems with scoring systems, and this one runs into one of those. So if you're really into really long spinners, this is the one to get. But if you want something that's going to be fun to play with, probably not. It costs $34.99 on eBay, and just for the novelty of it, it's worth that, I would say. But again, there are troubles with this one. But it was fun to play with. It was fun to review, although it took forever. So that's the Magic Shark UFO. See you later.